Okay.
It could be for very.
To the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
What's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. We are listening to Beyonce and Nicki Minaj's Feeling Myself right now, and we are feeling ourselves up in here in the studio. I'm joined by the lovely Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
DJ Jesse J. I like that, man.
Got a little Nicki Minaj.
You got the little Nicki Minaj.
Little Nicki
I like how
Minaj.
you did that. I like how you did that.
We got a variety of topics today, including Beyonce drops a new video and Twitter goes crazy. Surprise.
Yes, we did.
Google Maps calls the White House a racial slur, and police are responded to the massive shootout in Waco, Texas, and some say there's a double standard in how everything was treated. But first, I want to read actually, I'm not going to read the results from last week's buzzer meter question because remix. We had technical difficulties, and we were not able to get the results in, so we're going to have the same buzzer meter question from last week because we really want you guys to tell us exactly how you felt about it. The question is, should Harriet Tubman grace the $20 bill? You guys let us know, yes or no. We will read those results next week.
Yes.
How was everybody's week?
Fabulous.
Long.
Headed into a holiday.
Head into a holiday? Any Memorial Day plans?
It's kind of chilly, though. Everywhere else, it's like 80 degrees, and then Southern California, it's like 65.
I feel like I'm in Massachusetts again.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Then Memorial Weekend's supposed to be hot, so we can go to the pool and have a barbecue.
I agree. But it's like, what do they say? May, gloom, June.
No, June
April
gloom.
showers bring May flowers. I ain't seen no flowers.
We get June gloom out here, but this is a little out of control. But we need the rain and stuff, so I'm not going to complain.
See, and that's why I will not be watching San Andreas.
Oh, I definitely got to check that out. And a
just
couple
don't
other
think
things
I
too, Mad
want
Max,
to.
all that stuff.
Yeah, lots of movies to see for sure.
Like Chocolate City
But
this
I'll be-
weekend.
Chocolate City
guys,
this
if y'all can
weekend.
find it, go see it.
Okay.
Right, we were talking about
Because
that.
I was looking for
We're
it.
going to have to go on a long drive.
I don't even know where Lakewood is, but
We
it's at
gotta find
Lakewood.
it.
But I think it's at City Walk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I saw it at City Walk. But that ain't nowhere near my house.
Well, girl, it's
But
about to be.
we-
Well, we had
sleepover.
Rob Richard on
Portraits, yeah.
last week, so you guys should check out that interview as well. It gives a lot of dirt and details about the movie and about a lot of other things going
And
on
he
in his
shows his
life.
body.
Courtney was very excited about that. But you guys should check that out because his movie does premiere, and I hope everybody's going to see it in the
Go
theater
see
and
it Friday
support him.
night.
But we're going to start off with the buzzer. What am I talking about? The buzzer meter question. We already did the buzzer meter
Daryl's
question.
had a long week. He's
I've
ready
had
for
a
this
long
weekend to
week.
happen.
What you got in that cup, Derek?
Right, I something clearly.
Well, it might have been a bottle of some Ace of Spades, just like this Beyonce video. Beyonce and Nicki Minaj dropped their. Actually, it's Nicki Minaj's
It's
song.
Nicki Minaj. Yes.
It is. It is.
But everyone calling it Beyonce's video.
Hey, we ain't mad.
Hey, so Nicki dropped her video for Feeling Myself on
Feeling
Tidal.
Myself. Nobody cares about Tidal.
People were really upset. I was really happy because I have the
You have
free.
Tidal.
I have the free 30-day version, so I'm just getting a whole bunch of treats this month. I waited for the perfect time to sign up for Tidal.
You
Sure.
did because they had the Prince thing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
so,
which was dope.
It was dope.
But so I was like, oh my God. Someone was like,
Hey.
Beyonce just dropped a video. So I went on and I was like, all right, I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
It was awesome. It was cute, but it was nothing for like, an exclusive video on Tidal. You're going to pay $10 to $20
Yeah.
to see that video? No. But it was real cute. It was Beyonce and Nicki being friends and just being funny, feeling themselves, beautiful, all of the above. They stopped, the world stopped, and Twitter went ham because in the video, it showed there's a couple subliminal things in there. Like one of them is Nicki Minaj is wearing this shirt that says pervert with the number 17 on it. People are saying that it might have something to do with Kylie Jenner.
It definitely has
and
something to do with
Tyga.
Tyga. She ain't stupid. She was being real cheeky.
Yeah, that was a little shade.
I think it's great shade.
I thought it was funny. And then the other thing is, Beyonce is seen in a pool pouring Ace of Spades bottle champagne into the pool.
Which was sexy, by the way. Quite
That whole
sexy.
video was sexy.
It is.
Yeah.
Right, because if I was in the play, I'd be like, that's gonna get on me. Like, but anyway,
I'd be like,
girl, it needs to go in my mouth, not in my pool.
pour it in my mouth, pour it on my body.
Well, Twitter went ham because they were saying that this is ridiculous, Beyonce. Like, look at what's going on in the world, and here you are pouring something that costs anywhere from $300,000 to $100,000 into the water, which those bottles really do cost a lot of money. But at the end of the day, it's owned by Jay-Z, so she probably got it for free.
Right, exactly.
Let's be real. Because, like, the number that everybody sort of stuck on and kept perpetuating was
20,000.
And
Yeah.
I was like, come on, y'all. Even if it was, that's their right to do whatever the hell they want.
And
but
they could
more
afford
than
it.
likely, that is not the case.
Well, and it was funny because all those like tweets were saying stuff like, "Oh, this could be a college tuition. You know, this is a waste of money."
Which is true, but we see that this is our culture that we live in.
And you don't get to tell nobody how to spend their own
You do
money.
not get to tell
and
nobody how to
hey,
spend
they
money.
bailed people out of jail. They do their good.
Well, so then that's the other thing of it. So people are saying, like, leave Beyonce alone because she just came back from Haiti doing a charity tour with that. And then there is rumors out there saying that Jay-Z and Beyonce helped bail out some of the Baltimore protesters. Now, they haven't spoken on it, but there's tweets going out there from whoever, I forget her name, headed the campaign. I think it's really cool that she spells her name in all lowercase.
Yeah.
Interesting. I want to do that.
And I actually applaud them if I think it is true.
That they're not bragging
they're
about
not
it.
bragging about it, they're not saying anything. That's the way you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need to have the credibility of putting it out there in media. You know, you do it on the low and you know what you did and that's all that's important.
Boom. So there you have it. Beyonce crashing tidal waves in the music industry.
But check out that video if you ain't seen it because it is hot and sexy.
And it's already been
it is.
pirated and already up on YouTube.
Yeah,
so.
you can find it anywhere. That's how I got it.
Carry on. Who else stopped the world was damn President
Pretty
Obama.
He did.
This, sir, Obama went on.
What were you about to call him? Excuse you.
This mom,
That's my fault.
Sir.
Done going on.
this POTUS of ours received his official Twitter handle, which is the POTUS Twitter handle. And he broke Twitter's record by reaching over 1 million Twitter followers in only 5 hours. The last time this was done, it was actually, I'm surprised by this, but Robert Downey Jr. last year,
That's random.
in
Super
24 hours, got 1 million downloads. I mean, followers.
That's crazy.
So, President Obama's winning, broke the record. His first tweet was 6 years and they finally give me my own account. To which Bill Clinton tweeted at him and said, hey, so does the name stick with the house or I'm just asking for a friend? And he said, yeah, it stays with the Obama replied, yeah, it stays with the house. Do you know anyone interested in the FLOTUS?
Oh, that's
Talking
funny.
to Bill. So it's
Bill's
fun.
gonna be floated.
Having some fun, you know?
Cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And is he the first president in history to have his own
Yeah.
Twitter
Yeah.
account, literally?
Because
Well, there's
Twitter just go on.
There is a Twitter account for him, but he was never in
Never
charge.
in charge.
Yeah, because we talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
There was some things that were being sent out from that, and it wasn't him.
It's not him directly.
It's not him
Yeah.
directly.
But now
But now
this is
they've-
his
yeah.
personal Twitter
Yeah.
that he gets to tweet from.
So I think it's fun, and I hope he gets into it so that way when he leaves, he
Yeah.
can still be kind of vocal.
And hopefully all those haters that are sending him racist tweets will see how stupid they look and stop.
Yeah, but listen, here's the thing: how monitored is his Twitter account going to be? You know what I mean? I got to imagine
sure
that
it's
they
really
are
monitored.
checking
So I would
that
never
one out.
tweet at him.
Never at all, because all your information will
And then
be
they put you right there and they watch your every move.
every move.
Don't get it twisted, they already are. Stop
Well,
playing.
that's true. Yeah.
Stop playing.
Some days I'm
Hey,
not.
have you seen the Apple Watch?
Sure,
Right.
and that's why I wear my Jesus.
It's only proof that what's going on those phones is real shady.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving along. Speaking of technology, maybe you guys want to watch your favorite TV show from your phone or Apple iWatch. Well, whatever that is, as soon as the show's done, head over to AfterBuzzTV.com, where our sister site, AfterBuzz TV, will be talking about whatever your favorite TV show is, whether it be Vampire Diaries, the originals, Blackish, whatever your favorite TV show is, AfterBuzzTV.com.
All right, we're gonna move on to gossip and rumors with Courtney.
Gossip and rumors this week. So this week we had a very interesting person in gossip talking. He was talking to the Billboard magazine. It was CEO of Epic Records, L.A. Reid, and vet of the business. Basically, he was asked about his famed love of his life / favorite artist ever,
Pebbles?
Mariah
Oh.
Carey, playing. So, for those of you that don't know or missed it, Mariah Carey performed at the Billboard Awards on this past weekend. It was her first appearance on the award show in 15 years.
Voice heard around the world.
Voice heard around the world. She overall, the commentary is that she did a good job.
Yeah.
That she did well.
Yeah.
So basically, LA was sort of asked about Mariah and her new song that she sang and her ability to be number one still, because she, diva star, she's had so many number ones, whatever. His quote was taken a little bit harshly by some, but here's what he said. He said, quote, "To even be on the radio at this point in her career is a huge accomplishment. Because radio doesn't cater to veteran artists or legends. Radio caters to the in-the-moment stars. Nobody that put out records 25 years ago is going to have a number one. Not Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen, Mick Jagger, or Keith Richards. Not Prince. Not anyone. So if she can get on the radio, we've done damn good. Would we like to have a number one? Fuck yeah. But it's not realistic."
When did we belong together? I'm Googling it right now.
I was gonna say I was gonna disagree with him because I think if anybody could do it, Mariah
We Belong
could do
Together would
it.
be in 2004,
2005. I mean, that was 10 years
I mean,
ago.
that was 10 years
That was
ago.
10 years ago. So
Wow.
I don't think he's wrong in what he's saying. I'm like, he's obviously like hopes that it goes to number one, but the likelihood of it is
But like,
not.
I just hate the people he used because
yeah,
he
Paul
said
McCartney,
Mick Jagger, Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney, Keith Richards. Like, those are people who I don't see really like being relevant. Mariah,
No,
at least-
they kept their same sound over the years and haven't transitioned into new sound. It's worked because they're legendary, but if you're a Rolling Stones fan, you're just a Rolling Stones fan. They're not trying to cater to pick up new, younger generations
that
of
Thirsty
people.
song didn't do well, huh?
But I think that's his point. I mean, in the end, I understand what you're saying about like being in the category with those people, but at the same time, his point was she is a legend and she is not necessarily in competition with those that are on the radio right now because they're not legends. Could it happen? Sure.
I still
Is
do,
it
yeah.
I
likely?
don't think she's going
No.
for number ones at this point.
Exactly.
I still disagree. I think if like Pharrell hooked her up with like a hot track, I mean that's like saying that Gwen Stefani couldn't have a hot track anymore. Or number one.
Cher proved it wrong when she came out with Believe. Like
Right,
no
and
one
she
thought
was
she
in
was
her. I
ever
don't
going
even
to
know
come
how she
out
is.
with
I feel like
nothing.
Cher's like 100 right now, but I think she just turned 69. Actually, happy birthday, Cher! I think your birthday was this
so
week.
shady.
That was super shady. I wasn't trying to make it sound shady, and it was shady, but. I'm just saying, I still think that there is room for certain artists like Mariah, Gwen Stefani, Madonna. She's doing too much that she's lost. I think she's lost that road. But
No one cares
I think that Mariah still could with the right producer because Mariah still is sort of engraved into young pop culture. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a lot of them who could do it, but I think that she could.
Mariah
maybe.
just needs to reinvent herself right now. She needs to take some time, take this Vegas
That's
situation.
the problem.
No, I
she
know.
doesn't need to reinvent herself. Nobody wants a reinvented Mariah Carey.
But she can't sing what she was singing
But
before.
hence why the number one is probably not.
Yeah, but here's my thing though.
Because every time I watch this
Heartache
thing,
brings number one records, and she's got Heartache again. So maybe.
yeah, but she also got vocal cord break where it'd be like,
Well, that's too much champagne. She needs to chill with the champagne.
I mean, in the
Or
end,
she needs to be in the video with Beyonce and Nicki Minaj
Well-
pouring champagne on herself.
she's
just saying.
not gonna do that.
She should.
I don't really
That would make her
see-
number one.
No,
Mariah being
'cause
like-
Mariah, she would.
Mariah would
That
sit
would make her hot.
Mariah
No.
would sit above them and look at them like,
She would do it if she was like super on fleek. And I'm not hating on Mariah right now because I get it, girl. You doing what you doing. But she would, if she can't be in them swimsuits like they in,
Yeah,
and it's
no.
gonna make her look off, she would never.
And Mariah would look
But
like
I
the
mean,
grandma
I'm saying, but she
sitting there.
could do it if she, works on a couple things. But Mariah's still sexy. I ain't hating on her.
no,
She's still
I
sexy.
like her thickness, honestly.
I think
like,
she's
what I've
great. I
seen.
think she's, as long as she accepted and she feels good about it and doing and
I'm good with
singing,
it.
and I'm good with it. But
good with it.
I ain't always.
I think I got faith in you, Mariah. I think you still got it.
She was walking around Disneyland with them shoes, and I was just like, girl. But we love you, Mariah. Good
I got your
luck.
back, Mariah.
That song I'm not a fan of, but
Yeah, Infinity. I'm
Infinity.
like-
I'm like,
I kind of like it. It's growing on me.
You did say that.
I
you
like it.
but
It's one of those songs I think in about 5 more weeks you're gonna be like, damn.
No,
I kinda
here's
like
the
that
thing.
shit.
Here's why. I think you like it because what they tried to do is make it sound like an old Mariah song.
Right.
But she can't pull off the old Mariah, so it's kind of like I like it because it makes me feel comfortable and it makes me remember something, but I'm not getting that feeling with it.
I just go back to Butterfly.
Yeah.
And breakdown.
Because the thing is like I
Breakdown
really
was the
watched a
joint.
performance from her Vegas thing of her singing Emotions.
She can't. I mean, but she's not supposed to. She's blown her voice like that for 20 plus years. Like, give the woman a break.
All right.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Give this man a break.
I can't. Like, I don't even want to say it. Okay, so for those of y'all out there that don't know, or actually you do know, and you put an inappropriate ish in your Google search box, as in the N word plus house.
Because who's Googling
Who
this?
is Googling nigga house? Who out there is Googling nigga house? It is not okay.
It's not cool.
Whatever. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it broke this week that apparently if you open up your Google search engine and you put the word nigga house in there, guess what come up, y'all? Barack and Michelle's house.
Why
the
does it
White
have
House.
4.2 stars though?
A mess. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And whatever. Okay, so basically Google has not been able to fix it as of last night. I actually haven't Googled it this morning, so I don't know
really?
if it's still a problem. But as of yesterday, it still wasn't fixed. And they've apologized for offense caused by vandalism of its map tool. That's meant for users searching for racist terms being sent to the White House is terrible. But what they think is happening is something called Google bombing, where vandals flood a certain keyword with links to a place, meaning that the two will become associated in Google search results, and that's how it's coming out. So if you search for nigger house or if you search for nigger king, you are direct.
Wait, King? King?
Oh, stop it.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, so it's ER. It's not just...
Wow.
Dang.
It's the full racism.
So yeah, basically, all Google could do, they apologize for any offense it may have caused, and its teams are working to fix the
I think
problem.
they got rid of it.
Well, good. It took them about 5 days to figure that out. Because I'm pretty sure the story broke
Because
on
now it's coming up in Kenya.
on Sunday it broke, I believe, or
Yeah.
Sunday night, and then that the news kind of got out, and as of yesterday, it still wasn't fixed.
Because my thing is this, don't they do like Google Maps has that car that you see on the roads, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that little stick thing up.
But that's
and-
just like the surveyor. Like the actual search thing is like more complicated, and it's based on what people are searching and linking stuff to.
Okay.
So it's very possible that it wasn't like Google that did it.
I mean, I don't know if well, I don't know. You're right.
You never
damn
listen.
right,
You
know
never
what?
know. Right? I was gonna
At
say the
this
same
day-
I
thing.
said it's possible.
Anything is
trying to change
possible.
my life 'cause I
I am
believe-
trying to keep the positive, but I don't know. I don't know.
Nonetheless, thank you for apologizing, Google,
And thank you for trying
and
to fix
moving
it.
on.
And moving on and seeing.
And
thank
That
you.
is so true.
It's terrible.
Who's Googling that?
Thank you.
Oh.
And like deciding to link it up to the White House, and like I don't.
Listen, racism
done.
is real.
Dude,
I'm
and there was
done.
another. What was that other old search one? It would be like something about like white car, and then it's like I can't think of it. I'm not even gonna try to bring it up. Never mind. Move on.
That was going somewhere else.
It was. I'll talk to you guys about.
All right, well, we're gonna go somewhere else right now. We're gonna go to iTunes because we would love for you guys to go to iTunes and give us a rating and comment for our shows for Black Hollywood Live. We have about 15 different shows right now that you can listen to, you can download, you can explore, you can enjoy. We got The Beat with Jesse J. We got Fashion 401 with Courtney Stewart. We got Portraits with all of us. We have Geek.Nerd.Tech. We have, let's see.
Justice
Justice
Served.
Served, Reality
Tea
Check,
Party.
Black Tea Party, Stand Up, Sit Down, our
Check it
comedy
out
show.
loud.
Check it out. We got a lot of great shows for you guys, and you've been giving us some tremendous feedback on how to improve our shows. We love a 5, but if you don't want to give us a 5, let us know why you don't want to give us a 5, and we will work to improve that. So thank you. Check us out. Just saying, we got a new show with Sheree Fletcher, doing great. Check that out as well. But always support Black Hollywood Live either way. But let us know if
Right,
there's
because
something
we need to get some air
change.
conditioning up in here.
We need to get some air
Real,
conditioning
it's
because we some
hot,
hot.
So please support us.
We are hot people right now up in here.
We sweating in the White House.
We are sweating. All right, we're gonna move on to the
AKA.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
I hate you.
Spotlight of the week.
Well, we have some great news. Somebody has a new job.
Praise the
Yeah.
Lord.
One of our people who was on Portraits with us about
Hallelujah.
6 months ago, Alfonso Ribeiro.
Hey.
He has got a new job as the host for America's Funniest Home Videos. The host, Tom Bergen, will leave
Bergeron.
after... Which is
Bergeron.
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 Bergeron, excuse me. Tom Bergeron. Let me, sorry.
Get
Tom
it.
Bergeron.
Tom
Let me say it
like,
again.
What's my name?
Right. He was on the show 14 years, started in
Oh, wow.
2001. He is leaving after 25 seasons. He is still the host for America's Dancing with the Stars, excuse me. And so Alfonso was going to take over for him, which is a huge job for him. And
big job for
Alfonso,
him.
if you guys didn't know or didn't watch Dancing with the Stars, he was the champion on season 19.
Yes, he was.
So they were saying that they've done a huge auditioning process, and there was a lot of people who were up for the position, but Alfonso won the role.
How do you audition for America's Funniest Home Videos host? Like, just here's the video, ha ha ha.
And then probably like, what
do you
funny thing do you say after that?
What do you say after
Or
it?
how's the segue
That's
work?
an interesting audition.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be, yes. And some of the former hosts would be Bob Saget, Daisy
I forgot
Fuentes.
he did that.
Yeah, Bob did it for a long time.
Yeah.
Wasn't Bob the first one?
No,
No.
it was someone else who was the
Because
first one. but
Daisy came after Bob.
I think Daisy was actually before.
No.
She could have been after, but I don't. She was one of the hosts as well.
I never watched it when she did it.
I really think Bob was the first one.
No, he wasn't.
it wasn't the
There was
first
like
one.
I was like
Yeah.
really little. I feel when it first started,
Yeah.
it was like
Oh, really?
some random person
You know, I find it interesting actually that in the times of YouTube and
that it's
That
still
there's-
on.
that it's
even-
still on, that people still tune into that
But it
show.
makes sense because when you go on YouTube, you have to find all of these videos where instead here's a show that puts them all together and showcases them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that Rob show on MTV that
yeah.
he does.
Oh, Robin Big,
Or
yeah.
even the Soup, where they play a clip and then they talk funny.
It's easier
about
to
it.
just watch it, and I'm sure like because I think it still comes on like Sunday night. Like it's still a good time for
Family-
like family
family
show,
show.
like young kids that aren't
You
necessarily.
don't have to worry about the
And
craziness.
people
what
win
they're
some-
looking
don't
at.
you win
I think you win
Yeah,
for
like,
the best
yeah,
video
it's
or whatever.
Yeah, it's
so
a lot of money
I
too. I
haven't
think.
watched it since Bob Saget or Daisy Fuentes. But actually, that's not the only thing Alfonso has right now.
Oh, really?
This is so rude of me. But he has a new meme out. It's him and his family. Have you seen it?
I saw that.
With
yeah.
his daughter.
Yeah.
What does it say?
It's so mean, but it's talking about his daughter, how strong her genes are, because it literally looks like Alfonso's face on a little girl.
That's
It
funny.
does actually. It does.
That's what happens when
well,
you have
hey.
kids.
But
They look
sometimes
like-
I'm just like, this is in the news, that meme. When do you ever see an Alfonso
Meme in the news.
meme ever?
Hey,
You know, yeah,
PR, good
that's true.
press.
But I actually think that he's a good person to host this show.
For sure.
He's got the
Until
personality.
you just said Dancing with the Stars, I could actually see him hosting Dancing with the Stars too.
agreed.
I agree with you.
I think at some point that he was.
Ernie Anderson was the first. He has to be. He's way too old.
I don't even know who that guy is. Jess Harnell. We've got all the cast of characters from America's Funniest Home Videos. But yeah, good job, Alfonso.
Good job. You're working, brother.
Congratulations.
And you should check out his interview on Portraits because he was a lot
gave
of
us lots
fun.
of
He gave us
details.
a lot of details on Fresh Prince and everything around that. So
And we never did that game show.
we never did do the game show. We got to do that.
Courtney did.
Well, we did a little bit of it.
Maybe we should
on
do
air.
America's Funny Home Video and send it to. We got
Those
some
only
funny stuff.
happen naturally and organically.
Well,
I mean, I have some on my phone.
I'm sure we
and
could do some things.
if
in
I
here
ever
that
got
were
hacked.
natural and organic.
Uh-oh.
Nicolette would be real mad.
Right. All right. We're going to move on to our final story of the day, which has been making headlines since last Sunday. It is involving Waco, Texas, and two rival gangs that ended in bloodshed, arrest, 170 people in custody, 100 guns received. It was basically a brawl between two rival gangs and at a Twin Peaks restaurant parking lot. Allegedly, it was supposed to be a peace offering for a couple of the rival gangs, and it turned ugly with arguments manifesting in the parking lot, and then it just ended up in people getting arrested and a lot of craziness going on. Now, media has been reporting this all week, but a lot of people are starting to say that there's a double standard of what's been going on with how this situation was handled versus a lot of the situations that have been going on in the news with African Americans. Obviously, we have Freddie Gray. We have stuff that went on in Ferguson. We have Michael Brown. And they're saying that the way that the police conducted themselves in this particular manner was totally different than the way they conduct themselves with African Americans as far as police brutality. Obviously, we see that people are getting shot over allegedly taking things out of stores. We see that people are getting shot and killed for various reasons. And they're saying that with this particular story, that the gang members were not only, there was no dogs involved, there was no handcuffs involved. They were actually asked to put the rival gang members on the side of the road versus versus just all the brutality that's happened to African Americans. Now, Apparently, 9 gang members were dead. The police have also been warned about a retaliation that's supposed to be, possibly happening. There were gunshots exchanged between the police and some of the gang members. 18 people were taken from the scene to the hospital. There were gunshots and stab wounds. Members of at least 5 biker gangs gathered to discuss their differences, as I kind of mentioned before, and this turned very ugly very quickly. My question is, do you think that there is a double standard? I mean, we've seen how African Americans have been handled in the media, and they're also saying that, for example, with the protesters that happened in Baltimore, that they were labeled as thugs. This has not been a word that's been really used in accordance to these 2 biker gangs that were fighting.
Which it should, because they're gangs.
They're gangs.
I mean, here's my thing with this. The only logical thing that I could try to pull up and come up with this is the fact that, and I'm solely basing this off of Sons of Anarchy.
Well, they are comparing this to Sons of Anarchy.
Because at the end of the day, and I'm not only just Sons of Anarchy, I don't want to give away anything but what I know or my situations, but when it comes to mafia gangs and things like that, they have such close ties within the police department. So with this type of situation, is it right? Is it fair? No, absolutely not. This is me just trying to logically break down why this is happening the way that it's happening. And this is Texas on top of that, which they don't have their own type of whatever they think that they have. But I'm not from Texas. And what I know is that police departments, as crazy as it sounds, because I thought it was crazy, do really seriously work with, hand in hand, mafia gangs, regular gangs, street gangs, and they use it for their own pull. And so I'm wondering if that's what this case is, because and also basing it off of watching Sons of Anarchy and just hearing what I know personally in my life. That's the only thing that I can pull from this. Now, does that make it right? Absolutely not. No. And it's wrong. And that's why our government is fucked up. What are you thinking?
Courtney, what are you thinking?
I mean, when I first heard, the first report I heard was over the radio for 200 motorcycle gang members in Waco, Texas, and a shootout occurs. I don't want to jump to my race card immediately, but I was like, okay, it's biker gangs. They're probably not really a whole lot of black folks. I'm sure there maybe were a few. And I thought to myself, would it ever be acceptable in any city in this country? Because they were saying how the police had a heads up that things were going down. They were there, but they were just there, calmly there, watching and see what would go down. Okay. And I thought to myself, if there were, Bloods and Crips and blah, 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 decided they were going to have a big meeting of over 200 people, and the cops got tipped off, and it's a coalition of mostly black gang members, would it be acceptable for these 200-some men to get together and have a talk with the police just watching, or would they come storming in, immediately dragging people off before anything ever happened? So I just...
Oh, well, can I just speak to that? When I lived in New York, I used to work at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, right? And it was Easter night one night, and I was in the glass elevator, which overlooks 42nd Street. Mm-hmm. Across the street where the Marc Echo store was, I was looking at all these boys like, who the hell? Black and red Letterman jackets, right? Mm-hmm. Lining up against 3 buildings. Yeah. And I was like, what? Is this a calendar shoot or something? Mm-hmm. These men were fine. On this side...
That is not what I thought he was going to say, by the way.
I knew that's what he was going to say.
Because the type of men that I like, I just should probably not like. But anyways, on this side, it was yellow, green, and purple. And I didn't know what... Yeah. It's the Kings, the Latin Kings. Right. So versus the Bloods.
Right.
Lining up on Easter night. Now, the police were present for this. They were on horses. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The police were on the outside, and they just had allowed these 2 gangs on 42nd Street to line up against each other. Me and the people in the elevator what the hell is about to go on? A gunshot done gone off. People are running from around the sketches. It looked like Lord of the Rings. And the police weren't doing anything. So I don't know how to really talk about this.
So this goes into your conspiracy theory that you think that the police were...
Well, I'm sure they have to work with, because they have to, I mean, any kind of street crime, whatever, like the police on some level have to have a relationship with these gangs and whatnot and whatever. So from a race perspective, like where I was going with that was, I don't know if it would really be different for this black gangs versus these gangs. So I don't know. But in terms of the media coverage, I do find it interesting that there aren't like massive tear gas attacks and, you know, big
National Guard
big
wasn't
riot
called in.
gear and all of that. None of that seemed to be present, but at the same time, that could just go to the fact that the sheriff knows his city and knows these people and knows what they are after and what they're doing, and the best way to put it down would be to sort of let some of it fuse out and whatever. But 9 people dead, like I don't know.
Here, I mean,
If it was anywhere but Texas, do you think it would be a little different? Because I know nothing about Texas other than from what people tell me about it. But it seems like Texas feels
Has
like
its
I
own
mean,
thing.
Texas is its own
Texas
different
is its
monster,
own
but
monster, but-
overall, I just think that it's bullcrap because, you know, we are treated differently. There was a story that we reported 6 months ago with the USC students that were having a house party, and the damn police were called with masks on. There was like 75 police when it was just these college kids. I think they were graduating. Even. They were just having a house party, but yet you're bringing in like 70 cops with masks on and shields and ready to fight. You know, and this is, to me, this is bullshit because we have a situation here where there's all these gang members, or excuse me, biker gang members.
But that's what bothers me is that it's okay. It's
okay to be a biker
thugs.
gang.
They're
biker gangs, and that's
what bothers me. It's a fucking gang. They're thugs.
They're thugs.
They're mafia.
But yet that word thug 3 weeks ago was used very heavily in Baltimore in the protest. And you know, they're saying that this is one of the bloodiest and deadliest fights between rival gangs, right?
They had to arrest 170 people.
Right. And no one is, you know, like when we had the situation with Baltimore and all these other things, a lot of things were brought up about African Americans, about absentee fathers and just bad parenting and all that kind of stuff. Where the hell is this? Where is this stuff when it comes to these rival gangs? It is a double standard. It's, you know, and I'm glad that media or certain writers have brought this to the light because we need to continue to talk about this because it is something that I'm just so sick of hearing, and I'm so sick of the double standard. And you know, the fact that these cats were just put on the sidewalk, let those have been rival black gangs like you were talking about, they would have not been placed on no damn sidewalk. They would have been handcuffed, face down. I mean, if you look on Twitter,
no, these people are just chilling.
They're chilling. It looks like hey, they're having like a little barbecue.
And let's not get it twisted. Like they also, like when they were saying that they were searching some of the cars that had come and whatever, these people were packing. They got rifles and all kind of stuff in their car. And granted, it's very possible that most of them were legal. We don't know, legal or because I mean, Texas, you can have a gun anywhere in this country. Like it's just whether or not you have a license for it. But it's interesting to me because like a whole trunk load of guns and there's no big deal. And I just had a night before with my boyfriend, like he was driving home and had all of this fighting equipment from doing Krav Maga training, and he had they were rubber guns because you train with rubber weapons, and all he could think is, oh snap, don't let me get pulled over, because they could assume that's like a real well no, they have a couple black ones, but either way, like there's still stuff that would be a problem in the car. So it's just funny that like black people have to think about stuff that like if I had 30 rifles in my trunk, like my experience might be a little bit different than Dog the Bounty Hunter and his cousins.
You said Dr.
I said that because he was actually on CNN doing an interview and talking about the gangs, and he was getting very offended when people were calling them thugs. And he's like, these people are like family, and these people like are protecting their turn. Dog the Bounty Hunter. And
he said this is also the man who called his son who was dating a black woman a nigger. So,
yeah, but that's why I'm fascinated, because I'm like, it shows the psyche of difference, because everything that he was saying was no different than a street gang in LA. Right. They are family to each other. They're there to protect each other. They're there to protect their turf. They get upset when somebody of a different color comes and tries to act like that's their space. And that's exactly what he was saying these gangs were doing and why they came to a head. And the idea that he was so offended that they were called thugs and like criminals is just, but it speaks to how some people believe that something is different about the biker gangs, because somehow being in a biker gang is not nearly as awful as being a black person or a Latin person in a street gang.
I mean,
I
listen.
don't know where you ride your bikes, but I think you ride them in the streets.
And I mean, maybe you're insinuating that like in the biker gangs, there's no like drugs involved and nobody's selling, but I doubt it.
No,
Like,
that's
I would
exactly what it's
seriously doubt
about. The
some of
whole
it.
thing is about that.
because I'm
It
like,
ain't-
otherwise, why do you care about your turf?
like this isn't the Elf Lodge. Elf Lodge, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Elf was.
only thing I can give a
dying
little
on
bit
that.
of positivity to is there was one cop who's been kind of circulating through CNN and interviewed.
Well, you're gonna
He
get
did call them
quieted down
thugs.
real quick.
He did call them thugs, and he did say that when he was interviewed, he did say that he felt like this was a situation, So, and I know that Waco Thugs has been trending. So that was
Waco
start
Thugs?
Waco Thugs. Has
this
been
is a
trending.
topic. I'm glad we're talking about it because these types of things, white, black, Latino, Asian, whatever. Let's not get into the Asian, but all of these gangs, thugs, mafia, whatever it is, it really needs to be outed at the point that they are working, that our legal system is working with these people, because that's fucking weird and it destroys our community and it adds to the media fire.
Well, I think.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think that everything that has happened, the Freddie Gray stuff, the Baltimore stuff, the Mike Brown stuff, everything that's happened in this last couple of years, I truly do believe it's going to change the way things are perceived now, in the sense of this shit's still going to go on, but it's in the forefront now. Like people now
people are
are
looking
going
at
to talk
it.
about it. It's not just going to be where this happens and it's just pushed under the
Yep.
pushed under the carpet. People are going to be talking about this now.
about it.
So you got to watch yourself at this stage. You know what I mean? And I hate that the deaths have to happen for this to be in the forefront, but you know what, for everything revolutionary that happens, there is a cause and effect with it. So
And I'll just say, like, for this happening at all, the most fascinating thing that I found is that it was a reminder that there's always going to be crime in this country. There's always
Absolutely.
going to be people doing stuff and up to no good, and there's news about it. And I watch a lot of news on a lot of different places. But the idea that there is some kind of crime and negative things happening in another community that is not a brown black community is not something that we communicate really at all. Because when I heard the story, I was like, what? Even my boyfriend was like, biker gangs still exist? Like, so obviously there's still there's crime and things going on that's never reported on, because I'm sure this isn't the first time there was
Absolutely.
a showdown about some
Right.
turf or whatever, but nobody's reporting on that. So like, crime doesn't always have a black or brown face, and it would be nice if we actually communicated that to our greater community.
And wasn't there something like 6 months ago that happened in Manhattan Beach or something with with the biker gangs or something?
There was
in reference to
something
that?
in Manhattan Beach that it was weird. But
Yeah.
either way, like that's never
But it's never reported.
It's never
And that's why I'm
reported.
thankful
Yeah.
that it finally is, because
Yeah.
and it's never
That's
reported.
how- that's how it
Because the
changes.
police keep
Yeah.
it under a go.
Yeah.
like, let's keep this
like
quiet,
this.
and also it doesn't make for the good news
For the neighborhood or
neighborhood
whatever.
or whatever. So I just think it's interesting.
It's
and
like,
hope
nah, our
that
biker gangs are real friendly.
We're just
Come on down,
family.
y'all. They
Yeah.
were just having a conversation.
journalists,
That was a good accent.
do
though.
your
That was
job.
That was real redneck right there. That was real redneck. You was giving me a lot of redneck right there,
Yes.
Jesse J.
But if we show that, like, it breaks up that whole idea that black and brown is the only thing that's causing criminal
Right.
activity and horrible things
That's
in
what
our
media
in our
shows.
country. Like,
Yeah.
we need to see other stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy to me, but it just makes me feel like I was just educated on shit that a whole bunch of people were not. If you really go back to our criminal history here in America, just do that. Google that.
Listen, you was
Alright.
preaching. I was waiting for you to take the stage and run
I
with
just
it.
don't, because it's just like I get into this conversation too much and it gets so tiring, because it's just like exactly like we talked about with the word thug. Look at where the word thug really comes from. When you look at that face, it sure ain't a brown person's face next
Right.
to it. It sure ain't. And actually, the people's faces that pop up are probably famous. They're very well known. And
make
we look
movies
at
about them.
Yes. Yes.
But that's
Blows
like
my
the
mind.
sexy crime.
No, yeah,
The
Scarface,
black
like,
and the
come
brown
on, man.
people.
Yeah, that's a
street
different-
gangs.
that's brutality.
That is an infringement upon our communities and on our homes, and that's something to fear. But that
He put
was
Scarface
sexy.
up here, shot us, and paid in full.
That was
Just
a hell of an
saying.
analogy. I
All
feel
right,
you, though.
Jesse.
All right, I think we should end on that note.
Okay.
Oh,
On that note, because we have to go celebrate Memorial Day now, and live in peace and harmony in LA.
Amen.
Yes.
Have a
Amen to
drink.
that.
Which, one other thing, since we are on the topic and I've been drinking.
And it ain't watermelon.
What I do want to say is, remember that movie South Central?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you have not watched this movie, because I didn't understand. I thought this was a very well-known movie.
I mean, among brown people, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought it was just.
It wasn't a mainstream movie. So
I thought it was a known movie.
No.
But anyways,
it wasn't even known like Boys in the Hood was.
Yeah.
Like it didn't even reach
Boys
that
in the Hood
level.
was more mainstream.
Really?
Oh yeah, Boys in the Hood
Juice was
way
more
bigger.
mainstream. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know all those, but like
South Central was not-
I mean, I've watched
not
South
at all.
Central too many times. It was on BET all the time.
Yeah,
but
but
it was
okay,
on
I just
BET.
answered my
Yeah,
own
you just
question.
answered your own
But
question.
anyways,
And on
please
that
watch this movie, people, because what's about to happen in America is that movie was way before its time because it's about to be very consistent right now. And by that, I mean check out the Beat. Check out the Beat TV over at Black Hollywood Live because we talk about it. And we talk about a bunch of the upcoming artists that are being released now that are 9 years old, shooting motherfuckers, smoking weed, drinking, having sex at 9 years old. Like, this is what our community's turning into, and we need to change that. So watch South Central and then also watch the BT.
We will change
I just
it.
want to put that out there.
No, I love
because
that.
it really bothered me this week, the things that I've been seeing that are coming out.
All right. Well, two other things I want to acknowledge too is one, we want to celebrate and acknowledge Malcolm X's birthday this week.
Hey.
He would have been 90. He was born in 1925 on May 19th, so we want to celebrate him.
Notorious
And I also
brother.
want to celebrate David Letterman.
I
finale
know.
on
Last
The
show
Missing.
last night.
Last show last night. David Letterman.
He's done.
So, you know.
Ain't this
33
Black
years.
Hollywood Live? It's Notorious B.I.G.'s birthday today.
Oh, Dario, you
Listen,
failed.
you didn't let me. Actually, you didn't let me finish.
You
So
said
I'm
two things. I was waiting for the two things.
We love you, Biggie, Biggie.
Well, we love you, Biggie.
Biggie,
Why you
give
taking
him
my
one
black
more
card?
chance. Biggie, give
Listen.
him one more chance.
I love Biggie. All right. Don't play me. All right. Listen, I started with Malcolm X. Let me go from there.
Go ahead. And then don't you want to talk about Janet's new album?
No, I don't. We'll talk about that next week.
Nobody
So,
does.
because we got to get out.
Care.
No, I do care. I will be on that tour. Courtney, where can your fans find you?
On Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse, where can you find
DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Dario Kristen on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next week. But also remember to vote for the Buzz Meter question that was supposed to be the Buzz Meter question for last week, which is, should Harriet Tubman grace the $20 bill? We've made a lot of comments about it, and so has many people like Raven Simone as well.
Yes, she
Let us know what
has.
you guys think, and we will read those results next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or producers.